Hey, good to see you, survivors. We already got Samantha in the room, and I was thinking about you after I read your email. Yeah, the marriage vows. Like I said, it can be kind of difficult to kind of understand exactly what these vows are all about because uh, you've told me your situation, and you seem like you want to uphold your uh, vows. And there's John joining us saying hello to Samantha. Yeah, I made it back safely, but the roads are terrible. A lot of snow tonight. But so Sam was saying she sent me an email earlier, and I responded to it because her husband, has taken her away from her grandfather, who raised her, had a big part in her growing up, and when her husband picked her up, he's like, "This is the last time you're going to see this place." And he hasn't allowed her to really talk to her grandfather at all. She's not even allowed to return calls or reach out to him. And it's really sad because it sounds like her grandfather is a really good-hearted person. And that's the thing with narcissists is they love to isolate, so they have control over the whole situation. So, um, she talked about her grandfather praying with her. So it seems like there's some religion within her or her family. And, you take this vow in front of your God, and it's to love, honor, and obey. A lot of times they had that obey. Some people choose to change it, but traditionally it has the word obey. So I had told her I kind of wish she had stood up for herself earlier on in the relationship that might have guided it, where she's like, I can't do that. I can't sacrifice that much. So she kind of allowed him to take over. And then she's to obey him in a sense. But if you handle things when they need to be handled, it guides you. But now you're in this marriage, and we do love people. How do we handle it? Do we obey the traditional? She seems a little bit more traditional, which I am too. She's a stay-at-home mom raising three kids and homeschooling them. Sounds like she's a good wife. I've heard some of the audio clips, so I can hear what the abuse is, the intonation and the situation. And you know uh, I'm sure she's missing her grandfather. Am I correct, Samantha? Um, so you know, whether you stay in the relationship or move on with your life, it's good to take control back of your life. So now that you're in this um, marriage bond, how do you handle it? And I know, Samantha, we kind of get broken. She says, I had no backbone. And can I ask how old you were when you met him or when that situation happened? If you're free, you don't have to answer that. But at that time, I never knew someone would even test someone so evil. Didn't know what was going on. And that's kind of where I was. You were 21. Yeah, I met my first one when I was 17. Sorry, I need to cut my bangs. Can't see. But yeah, sometimes we're like, I don't really know how to handle it. And um, we think about it religiously, we think about it uh, in the way we're supposed to. You met him when you were 17. We have so much in common. I swear, Samantha's my soulmate. Um, or soul twin. I don't know what you would call it. But yeah, sometimes we're like, I don't know how to handle it because it's a different kind of situation. I'm a little bit more submissive. Where I want to be the traditional wife, and I don't mind giving my husband a little bit more control. But we never really expect somebody to take us away from our family members. So it kind of blindsides us like, whoa, I didn't expect this. And besties, yes, definitely. And how do we change it? Samantha, I wasn't able to check if you responded again to my email because I was asking how you felt. I had told her, that uh, every situation's different, to make sure that it's safe before you act. That's the big thing. And I only know her situation, it's a limited extent. So I asked her, possibly reconsider, uh, reaching out to your grandfather. Um, but, going behind your husband's back is not going to be good because if he finds out, especially hers kind of rages quite a bit. And Samantha says, I'm naturally inclined to submit and let the man take control. But sometimes I did too. I lost myself. I gave too much of my control away. But he manipulates and uses this for, as you say, evil. Yeah, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. And they just run with it. They feel entitled to overtake our lives, and they don't consider the grandfather, what he's feeling. He invested in Samantha, and they seem to have a pretty close bond. I'm sure, according to my interpretation, is Samantha's kind of heartbroken over it, and there's some fear to where she's like, I can't reach out, that she's that controlled, and she is trying to honor her husband. Things have gotten bad, and I want to talk to you a little bit more, Sammy Sam, and John too. But I talk about one of my very best friends who has a narcissistic life partner, I guess, and uh, she, when she's talking to me, she's like, "Oh, uh, my situation is narcissistic, but hers isn't. She's fine." He's, talks about the poor childhood, and he just gets a little on edge, and we understand each other. Well, today's her birthday. She had her toe amputated today, and um, hold on, sorry guys, I kind of bebop around. You'll get to know me. I get to the point eventually. It'll probably drive some of you crazy, but Samantha says I lost myself, but have gotten a large amount back. And that's part of the reason you're kind of having some struggles too, because you are empowered. And that's a great thing. It's a great thing. And to make the transition, if you're going to stay with this person, or even just to heal and move on, because she's kind of torn, because she does love him. My best friend loved her man, and I want you to hear this story. But Samantha continues, but my parents also did not allow me to have independence. Same here. Oh my goodness. I'm going to start calling you Cynthia. You're so much like me. So you were naturally kind of felt normal to have somebody being so rigid. Yeah, I wasn't even allowed to watch G-rated movies. I was so controlled, and um, they wanted to protect me. But sometimes, John says time will make you stronger. Time and redirecting your life. So you have to redirect it. Otherwise, you're not going to get stronger. But good point. John's gotten a lot stronger. And yeah, so John, thank you for piping in. Samantha definitely says thank you. Because John, you've gotten a lot stronger, but you took control back. And Samantha, that's going to be hard. Um, I can definitely relate. So I had talked to, emailed Samantha about possibly thinking about reconnecting. I let her know that her husband probably, or would get angry if she went behind his back. And that's us too. We want the truth, we want good communication. And it's almost like an unspoken agreement that she didn't mean to make. And how do you undo that? Um, you didn't verbally say, okay, unless you did, but it was kind of, oh, this is what's going to happen. Oh, okay. And, you know, um, as a mother myself, I miss the heck out of my grandkids. Um, they touch your soul, and you want to be a part of their lives. And, um, you know, we got to be careful not to hurt the people that were there for us. And your husband would be so mad if he knew I had an email account and listened and joined in chat. I know. Sometimes we take risks. We're searching for advice, or to understand, or even some support. And, you know, uh, it gets tricky. It gets tricky because sometimes we want to be honest, but the repercussions, and that's how these, I don't, that's why if everybody was healthy, everybody would be fine. Things would fall into place. So I'd ask you what you feel about reconnecting with your grandparents, because, I mentioned, don't ask him, do you mind if I reconnect? Because he's going to say no. And then if you go against it, then he's going to be like, you're not obeying me. Um, but if you take the love, honor, and obey, he skipped the love part because he should have lovingly understood that you kind of have a need for your grandfather or compassion for your grandfather. He helped raise you. And so parts of that vow were missing on his part. And you're left to carry the brunt of it without even necessarily or knowingly agreed to it. And I gave you some advice on how to say things that you have to reassure them, let them know, that your grandfather was there for you, and you just want to say Merry Christmas, kind of reconnect a little bit. Okay? Sorry, I didn't expect to have to do this emergency errand, and the roads were terrible, so I wasn't able to get back to your email. You mentioned that your grandparents had both passed. Okay, so. Yeah, so I guess it's technically not an issue anymore. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, be careful in the future to what we agree to. Um, we can say no. We can say no. And sometimes we have to go through the struggle to compromise or agree to disagree, because he took some people out of your life, and the narcissists love to isolate. John, feel free to tell me some of the lies that your woman in the past. You should have used your roller skis to kind of ski away. Yeah, keep inventing stuff, John. We love your inventions. I need an ice scraper invention because I broke mine. Luckily I had one of those glove ones, so I was able to chip away at the ice. But my best friend, like I said, her man, she's been justifying him for the longest time. And she, like I said, today's her birthday. She had an abscess on her toe and had a slit. They had to uh, drain it, slit this big where the entire, if you've ever cut a hot dog open, how it kind of folds. That's what her toe, like when you heat it up and folds, that's what her toe looked like, completely open. And they're doing packing and stuff like that. Started healing. She was on over four. At first, it was 47 days, then they added on more days of antibiotics. Seemed to be healing, and all of a sudden took a turn for the worst. So last night, she had to go to the emergency room. He dropped her off and left. He never stays with her in the hospital. And today's her birthday, and he hasn't called her. Uh, she lost her toe. They had to take it this morning, and she was in tears. I called to say happy birthday to her, and she's crying, and she's so miserable. She's like, I had to listen to hours of getting bitched at. And he relates her toe infection to, she kind of hoards cats. She has 6 cats, and they got a dog. So they have one that's extremely disabled with poor, like blind, and also balance issues, which is probably related to the eyesight. And so he's bitching her out that the house is dirty. The house is like mine, but my dog walks on my carpet, and same in her house. They got a smaller place, so a lot more busy looking all around. Lots of knickknacks and stuff like that. But it's clean, and so he's saying that it's because of the cats. So he hates the cats, wants to get rid of the cats, and she uses them as emotional support animals. And she can't bear to give them up. She had a rat in high school. And I remember her crying. She's like, if you want to say goodbye to Bub, you better come over. So I went over there. I don't like rats, but I was there for her. But she gets really attached to animals. And so all these years, over the last few, we reconnected a couple years ago. So over the last several years, she's not seeing what I'm saying. She can give me advice, but she's like, her man, honestly, is more actively dicky. Mine were like passive or whatever, but he has that extreme rage. Mine going to the silent treatment, but the way he bitches her out, cuts her down, not listening. He thinks he knows more than the medical professionals. She has MRSA, and the doctors are saying she probably didn't get it from the cats. And Ebony's here. Ebony, good to see you. And I'll get to your topic in just one second. So there's no support. When he was in the hospital, she was there, like basically as 24/7, as much as she could be there. She actually saved his life because can't remember exactly what. I think he was had a heart attack or stroke or something went on. This was before we reconnected, but she was on it and telling the nurses. I think they gave something wrong with the medication and like screwed him up pretty bad. But Ebony says, discarded 14 months ago by my narc ex. He was wearing a mask for 10 months. How long were you guys together? The pain was excruciating. If you feel free to share, the pain is excruciating and still hurts. I've been on fire uptight lately because um, it it's hard. It is hard. We're rewiring our brain. We got CPTSD, trying to control our anxiety, and I that long anxiousness. Our body gets used to it, and when we try to calm down, it's like whoa, and it hurts. Physically hurts, emotionally and physically, like literally physically, and you're still angry and a bit jealous because he's on Facebook with his new supply on vacation. Yep, I can relate to that. That makes you sick. Like a lot of times too with that love bombing, they'll take everything you wanted and give it to the new supply. And yeah, I'm curious. You said he was wearing a mask for 10 months. So if you feel comfortable sharing, what percent of the time did was it 4 months? I'm trying to understand your time frame. But yeah, 14 months can go by and we still hurt. A breakup with a narcissist is so different because we don't know what we're losing. Are we losing a good man or woman? Are we losing a lie? Did we lose ourselves? We want ourselves back. Did we mess up? We go through all that cognitive dissonance and rumination and just the crazy making. The gaslighting is known as crazy making, and we're trying to understand it all. Samantha says mine cuts me down bad even today. uh, yeah, and just like my friend in the hospital, uh, he told her, she's about to lose her toe, and you would hope for some emotional support. But instead, he's like, "Yep, you're gonna lose your toe, then you lose your foot, then your leg, then your life. Might as well just die." And it's like, ooh. So yeah, no support, no support, and even instead of just being cold, it's extra abuse, like the scare tactic. You're gonna lose your foot in your life and might as well die. Like there's no empathy. It's even worse than no empathy. It's extra abuse on top of it. John says it's tough sometimes. John, do you still go through phases where you kind of get a little sad? John's been doing pretty good, but you were together 10 months. Okay. But the connection made it feel so much longer. I agree. Now he looks happy with the new supply, and I'm wondering, did he change? And I'm going through that too. Mine got married. Um, did he change? Does he love her sincerely? He never took me on vacation. This is the thing. Narcissists need to stay happy or busy in order to be happy. So I look at it this way: why the extravagant trips? That they're trying to prove that they're valuable. They can't just sit home and snuggle on the couch. It's almost like they're purchasing the new supply. They purposely do that love bombing. They go over the top because of their low self-esteem. And the thing is their love is different. Is it a true love? It's self-serving. So it's hard to use the word love, but they're there as long as things are going smoothly. They do the monkey branching, and I know John, he doesn't. It's not the correct term of love. We all have different definitions of love. Uh, you can have somebody sweet at the gas station, like, oh, I just love that lady. She's so sweet. That kind of stuff, but you don't really know them. And that's kind of what it is like with a narcissist. And it makes you sick to your stomach that you were good to him, genuine, smooth. I try to say that because, yeah, what the fuck? Um, and this is the thing, the more genuine you are to them, it almost destroys it. It's so fucking weird how it happens because when we do our part, they take advantage of it, and it turns them into like a spoiled brat and entitled. And well, so John says, I do miss my girlfriend, but the narcissist hell no. You're talking your 40-year girlfriend. Not, she had some tendencies too, though. Um, he was in a 40-year relationship, and uh, you got to tell me more about her because she passed away. And then, how long was it with Show? I can't remember how long you were with her. Addie, hello. You were on a couple weeks ago. Yes, good to see you. And I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm planning on seeing some of you on Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's. With the disclaimer, my mom is in the hospital and I will be seeing her, and depends on her health, but she seems stable right now. But Addie, good to have you. And Ebony says, mind you, he went public with his girlfriend on Facebook after his divorce was finalized. Hmm. Uh, it's interesting too that they wait. It's like all of a sudden, like you guys are married and that's what I have the hardest time comprehending because most of us on here are still sad. You've been away from him for 14 months. You still are sad. Um, we still go through these emotions, and they just get married. It's like, or happiest person in the world. And I have an acquaintance kind of friend uh, who I'm still kind of testing the waters with. It's not a romantic interest, but uh, she's kind of uh, a spitfire, I guess you could say. And she was in this relationship for 4 months and it went bad. And she's like, she was sad for 24 hours and then she was over it. And now all of a sudden she's like with this new life partner just a couple days later, and they bebop, recover. I think she's got some issues, but not a narcissist. She's very kind, uh, bold headed, but she is kind of wonder if she's like, I don't even know, borderline. I don't know. She's been through a lot of trauma though. Um, so watching out for red flags. So John says she was very influenced by her mom. Yeah. And that's where I'm glad you said that, like a lot of childhood trauma or even into adult life. Samantha sending you a bunch of love, Addie, and you just wanted to update you on how you're doing. Please let me know. Definitely. And Addie says, so he told me that he loves me, and I told him no was the right thing to do, or what could I have done to do better? Um, so you told him no, like you're done with him. Let me know a little bit more on the thoughts you're trying to convey to me. Did he hoover back? Let me know a little bit more. Sorry, I'm trying to help. Ebony says he was married to the same woman twice, and that happens like 6% of the time. 6% of the time they'll go back. That was the biggest red flag. Unfortunately, he played victim, and I never got the wife's side of the story. I highly doubt I was his first victim. There is a pattern. There is a pattern. A lot of times, it's the women that leave first. They have a 70% rate of being the one to initiate divorce. I talked about the traditional things where men are more in power. And now that women are becoming more empowered, it's throwing everything off. Samantha's trying to maintain her sanity, uh, having some control over her life. and she's a very respectful, um, you know, tries to be patient and good communication. Addie says, so he told me that he loves me, and I told him no. Uh, was that the right thing to do? You know, if you're with a narcissist, it's not a true connection. And you know, if it's hurting us and it's not going to get better, you know, we deserve better than that. And it's hard when we get caught up. We think emotionally instead of logically. You know, most of us do that. And you were walking home from school and he got my attention. I wasn't talking to him. So he came up and he told me. Um, he, okay, so Addie, so when he told you that, how long have you guys been apart, or what was the breakup over? Let me know a little bit more. The same guy who cheated on you. Okay, I remember. Okay, yep. Sorry, I was missing a connection. And that's the thing. It's like, so he cheated on you with your best friend. For one thing, your best friend, that like you're probably going through a lot of feelings of betrayal. Your best friend, and also your person. Um, yeah, I mean, he's overstepping a lot of boundaries. He's overstepping your, you know, and it destroys your relationship with your best friend. So not only did he take away your relationship, he kind of destroyed your friendship too. And granted, your best friend shouldn't have done it either, but that's kind of low. And yeah, um, you have to believe in your own self-esteem that, yeah, you are worth something better than that. Um, he says he loves you. Did he say sorry, or did he acknowledge what he did wrong? A lot of times they just blow it off like, yeah, I'll just say I'm sorry and you'll take me back because they feel cocky or entitled. Did he react angry, or did he, um, how did he react to when you said no? What was his reaction? So Ebony says he filed for his divorce twice, but I think that even that was control. Yeah, sometimes it is. Get your act together and I'll undo this filing. Men do file for divorce. Sometimes too. It's a game of who files first. It changes how the courts go. He did not say anything about what happened. So, yeah, Addie, I think you said the right thing. Or, yeah, you said the right thing to him, in my opinion. Um, they love to brush it off like nothing happened, you know. But when he said no, when you said no, did he go, okay, I understand? You know, because technically that's healthy. Yeah. And we can see if they seem sorry, you know. Whatsoever. And that's the hardest part. Either they'll do crocodile tears, or, you know, they don't fight for the relationships. They're like, okay, unless they're paranoid about losing supply, but, you know, he just walked off. He knew he fucked up and he knew you were strong. If you were strong enough to say no, he's too weak to fight for it, if that makes sense. So you deserve a man who loves you enough to not do that in the first place, but you know, to kind of connect with you. And that's the thing. Once these things get toxic, it's hard to come back from that. You know, John says my narcissist was hanging out with the prior supply the whole time I knew her. And Samantha says, John, you're right. There are patterns. And that's one thing we have to look at. Like Ebony with the filing for divorce twice, that does not sound like a happy marriage. Getting remarried to the same person, you know, sometimes there are times that people can work through things, misunderstandings that shouldn't have happened. Sometimes too, people try to sabotage relationships, and it can break people apart. Narcissists love to do that. So there's times it might take some time for the truth to unfold, and sometimes, you know, forgiveness does make sense, but with a narcissist, you know, it's hard to know what to believe. It's really hard to know what to believe. And Lily, good. Narcs never change. So yes, I'm glad you just tuned in, and thank you. That is one of the most important things. Yeah, they pretty much there's very low, I guess, recidivism. I don't want to say healing, and it gets confusing with the self-aware narcissists. They're just going from different supplies, not necessarily people, but the ones that you see on YouTube. They're doing great. They got, some of them have their wives that got back together with them. They have the children in the home because they want to be around the children. They got the image of the good family man or whatever. They got a lot of YouTube subscribers, followers, people who are adoring them. And if one of those crashes, it's interesting to see how they would handle it because that's when you see their true colors. Just like my friend whose man, you know, she lost her toe today. It's her birthday. He didn't say happy birthday to her. He didn't stay with her in the hospital. He's pissed off at her, and she's crying. She's like, if I could leave, I would. If I could afford to live on my own, I would. Now she's disabled and on Social Security, 1,400 a month, and medical issues. So she's got quite high. I think she has Medicare. I always forget which one it is. Medicaid, Medicare, Cade. I don't know. She has government assistance for her medical, and it doesn't cover all her medication. And she doesn't have enough money to get the insulin she needs. Maybe that's part of the reason. She's supporting him. He brings in a little bit, but she's bringing in more. And go ahead, Addie. No question is stupid. I'm a teacher. So I'd love to help you. Feel free. It's not going to be a stupid question because I bet you other people have it too. Medicaid. So thank you, Lily. So she does have the government assistance, Medicaid, and he doesn't. He relies on her to pay for the bills. He's poor, pitiful me. He can get a good job. He's a hard worker when he works, but he uses her car. He bitches about everything. And, she was about to lose her toe. They were hoping to save it. And she's moving heavy stuff because he made her feel so uncomfortable about the house being unclean. And like I said earlier, it's kind of like my place, but it's almost like she would freak out and have to move the fireplace to clean behind it. It's a electric one. And maybe just vacuum, but she was supposed to be completely off her foot and she lost her toe today on her birthday. Um, Ebony says, are those monsters capable of love? Do you think they change for the new supply? I'm a damn good catch and yet he ruined me. They don't change. I got insider information. They don't. Uh, they learn how to put the facade on better. They learn new tricks. They, you know, it takes time for it to unfold, and you know, just like my friend, she's with this person, and I see the ups and downs from the outside. I also know from my narcissist, but I hear when I'm talking to her on the phone just how escalated it gets, the schmoozy shit he does when I'm over there, like how wonderful he is. And he's also polyamorous, so he's hitting on me. I tell him I don't want that. They don't listen to boundaries. Um, and it's just a facade. They don't change because, she's around 7, 8 years in. And it's getting terrible. And yeah, JG, America's healthcare is a joke. It's horrendous, terrible. Are you in Canada? I need to move to Canada. Addie says, is there such thing as narcissistic friendship? I'm pretty sure I'm in one. Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's coworkers or neighbors or, parents, friends, definitely. Be careful of that. Yeah, that's rampant. John says, my narcissist said at the beginning that she couldn't picture us not getting along. Yep. Don't you love that? Like, of course, we're soulmates. We'll always get along. John says true friend relationships take time to develop. And Samantha says, yes, there is, Addie. JG, you're in the US, so you you know exactly how bad it is. Lily says, coworkers for sure. Yeah, and you can feel vibes off of people. Definitely feel vibes. And people can be nice, but you're like, what's going on with this vibe? You're like, hi. Hi. I was looking up something today. There's what's her name? She's kind of cute. She doesn't smile. She's does like satire music. I think she did Kid Bops or Elise. Is it Elise or Ellis? I think it's Elise. Somebody I can't remember her name, but she's always very flat, and it's kind of like a sarcastic thing, you know. It kind of works for her silliness, but she said that like she has I can't remember the word she used. It was like the abbreviation, like uh, how we use like resting bitch face or something like I can't smile, whatever her letters were. And there are people who really don't smile. My first one kind of didn't smile. It was like every 4 months he'd smile. And it's like, oh, it just touched your heart because you're so starved for a smile. What's the best way to drop them? My 2023 resolution. So we got 8 days to get this right, Addie. John says, right, the red flags to cut all toxic people out of your life. And that's a really good resolution because there are so many toxic people. Um, coworkers. There's a lot of backstabbers out there, friends that are backstabbers. The best way to kind of see where things are going to go is don't put in more energy into the relationship than they do. So, if you ask them out to lunch, they say yes, they don't come, they cancel, wait till they come back and ask you, hey, are you ready for that rain check? Sorry, I couldn't make it last time. If they don't come, it's not a two-way friendship. We're investing too much. We have to let the investments lead the way. So try to keep it even. It can be a little bit more. We can do a little bit more, but even just calling our friends, that we have to let time develop it. If we rush it, we're not getting to know the person and we're giving them a lot of trust. John says, smile because you're all a survivor. Yeah, we got a lot of survivors here, and a lot of healing goes on too. So we survived it. We might be a little bit damaged right now, but we're going to become healers. I need to have a backup channel for healed ones because we're surviving right now and we're healing. Doesn't mean we made it out of the woods yet. You're not working right now, but I'm trying to find a part-time job next year. And you got this, girl. Um, and take this break. Take this break. Get those resumes out there. Maybe you can kind of do that while you're enjoying the break, and then hit it hard. You got this. Um, just look out for the red flags, and if you see them, we gotta take them for being the truth. If somebody's not investing in us or they're lying to us, uh, we gotta listen to other people too. Look at patterns. Narcissists are tricky though because the covert ones. To remember covert versus overt, I think a covert like covered, so they're covered, they're hidden, you can't really tell. Over, I think of over the top, they're the grandiose ones that you can see. Narcissists bebop between covert and overt. And Ebony says, he once told me at my funeral, when everyone else is calling me a monster, he can defend me. I should have took off running them. This is the thing, like with mine, we got back together and he called off the wedding 3 weeks before the wedding and then dated somebody who was running for Miss Michigan, and then we get back together. And um, he said, she's going to think I'm crazy for getting back together with you. And I'm like, why is she going to think I'm crazy? He's like, because I told her. Also, before I was dating him, and then that's the thing, they'll flip flop and we're stupid for taking them back. But he had this other girlfriend. And so after her, we get back together. We both have blonde hair. And I was considered blonde monster number one. She was considered blonde monster number two. I ended up being friends with her. She's not a crazy bitch. Um, she, uh, it's just, if you notice, I was crazy. And if I was so crazy, why'd he take me back? Me, I was kind of dumb for doing it, but we trust in them or we believe in change. And Lily says, we know what we don't want in future relationships. Oh, Eddie. Eddie took away her message. um, I wish we could do that in life. No, feel free if you need to. That's okay. Also, can we just acknowledge? Um, oh, I don't know if that's your full statement. Lily says, we know we don't want in future relationships after the narc. And yeah, but we sometimes will attract the same things. So we got to be careful. Or, oh, you like my fireplace? Oh, thank you. I built that. Do you like that? I put it together. And all their exes are crazy. That to me is the biggest red flag. But then you got to think some people are crazy. Um, there are so many out there. And the thing too is if I was really crazy or blonde monster number two was really crazy, why'd they stay with us as long as they did? Um, but then we do it too. It's so confusing. Ebony says uh, they call their all their exes crazy. I'm actually in actuality, they're the most empty and unstable creatures known to mankind. And thank you, Eddie. Uh, they are unstable. And you can see it in them bebopping. A lot of them will quit jobs, change jobs. Now, I kind of did that. So I did it because I was trying to raise a daughter, so I could only do certain things. I ended up creating my own business, but I was kind of doing the college side jobs. Certain I took this one job as a seamstress and I knew it wasn't going to pay the bills. So it's like I can't keep doing this as you know. Um I took a couple teaching jobs in urban areas where it's pretty dangerous and I'm so happy now. I am very happy now. And I plan on retiring from this. The other ones it just didn't seem like the right fit, or if it was the right fit, it wasn't going to pay the bills. So, you know, that could be a red flag to somebody, but it's kind of like, you know, I didn't have daycare. Like there's so many things, but uh, Samantha says, Addie, you said you're 14. Yes, my sweet girl, you deserve and will get a better man. He's on the way. Just focus on yourself as to love and see yourself as something worth protecting. Yeah. And be careful with being intimate with people, especially at age 14. There are a lot of sexually transmitted diseases, pregnancy, um, and, uh, you know, I had a friend who I'll share a little bit. This may or may not help you, but she got pregnant before her first period. She didn't realize that she was probably a week to 2 weeks away from starting her period. So she ovulated and got pregnant that way too. And a lot of the early relationships, especially at 14, usually don't turn into lifelong relationships. So it's something to think about. Maybe save yourself because it's a risk. It is a risk, and some diseases can be forever. Uh, so, John says, and I'm not saying you're doing anything, but just be cautious. Treat yourself with respect. And um, Addie says, I really, really appreciate you and your support, Samantha. Thank you so much. It means the world. And I'll tell you what, we got a good group here. I'm really enjoying our people. And Lily says, can you tell us what state you're in? Just curious. You're in Boca Raton, Florida, the rat's mouth. That's what that means. I'm sure you know that. The mouth of the rat. I went there and I had a high school boyfriend who was really smart. And he was just a friend. It didn't work out. We dated a couple times, didn't work out. And so I was off and on with my first narcissist. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to see my friend. And I wasn't going to stay in the same hotel. I was just going there to see him. And so my narcissist was a little uncomfortable. He's like, "Oh, you're going to see him?" And I'm like, "Well, we're just friends." And I said, "You can come with us, yeah, or with me. I don't care." And so the two met up, and we went to La Quinta to stay. And it was like my friend, who was very intelligent, narcissist said, "Oh, well," he said, "Where are you staying?" And narcissist says, "La Quinta." And he's like, "Oh, La Quinta?" And he's like, "No, La Quinta." And I'm like, "Oh, like the friend's right. Like I just need to be quiet." But yes, I went to Boca Raton. My friend lived there for a while. I lived in Cocoa Beach for a while. I'm in Michigan. And what's the weather like in Florida right now? Because we're under that terrible storm. We don't have that much snow, but it's slippery and bitter cold, and the snow is starting to come right now. Uh, and Addie, yeah, I've really already decided that. Good girl. Yeah, and I am too. Like freaking screw these guys, because that's when you're really gonna know when somebody loves you. Like I'm at that point where it's not worth it. There's so many scammers out there, and a lot of them, if you don't like, I realize this. Some girls, ladies, will get into it and kiss and make out on the first date. I don't, and you see that the guy doesn't call again, and it's like, come on, I know what you wanted. So Lily says, yes, haha, the evil haha. Samantha, I want you to have someone who doesn't hurt you. That's what's really important, Addie, and everybody. We need somebody to support us. Like my friend who lost her toe today, she has no support. She has actually more abuse than just coldness, because they go above and over the top. So we all get frustrated. Sometimes we say things we don't mean, but it's extra abuse. And you need somebody who will be faithful to you, um, because that's your foundation, and it's gonna cause trust issues, things like that. Look ahead, my sweet girl Addie. Don't let the one who hurt you hold you back from life. And that's the thing. It's good to cut it out and just uh, you'll see patterns. Just like I've seen you for just a little bit, and all the bebopping with the things I've been through. And Addie says, that's exactly what I'm looking out for, Samantha. John says, I'm not really searching for anyone right now. I'll let nature take its course. And that's the best way. That's usually when it happens, when you relax, just doing your thing, glowing on up. And, uh, you got to get out there and do things, like me being in my house. Nobody's coming to my house right now and saying, hey, you want to get married? So we do have to get out there, but don't force it. Uh, it gives off a different air, a different energy, other than just letting it happen. And I started reading this thing tonight about, pheromones, which are the scents that our bodies give off to attract people. And it was interesting. It said that you're talking about it was talking about married men, and I don't know what with married females, but it said married men have a different scent than single ones, and it could have something to do with the testosterone. And it's kind of interesting. Like, I need to look into that a little more. Uh, so Addie, yeah, definitely look out for that. Lily says getting a gold wave in 40s for 2 days, then back to 80. Oh, whoa. Cold wave. You're getting a cold wave in the 40s. I'll tell you what, I went down to Florida. I was moving there from Michigan to get away from the snow. And how many years ago was this? 20, 30 years ago. I can't remember. But it was the first time, like 40 years, that they got snow. I'm like, this is great. It was just flurries, but I was like, are you kidding me? And JG says dropping in the 30s in Orlando. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. I lived in Florida for a while, Cocoa Beach, an hour from Orlando. And yeah, it doesn't usually get that cold. Not all places in Florida have heat either. I stayed at a place that didn't have heat or air conditioning. So then I moved down there being broke. Yeah, stay warm. Also, it's kind of scary. We might be having, they're talking about rolling blackouts. They're asking people to use 10% less electricity so that it doesn't overdo their system. And I'm trying to get to my mom's, who's a couple hours away. She's in the hospital an hour and a half past her house, but she has a generator, and nobody's there. My father passed away recently, and you know, just to have the generator. And I'm hoping we don't have the heat, or we don't have the electric going out. I had this is a heater, but if the electric doesn't work, and I think I have electric heat here, so yeah, I used to have a place where I had gas heat and then electric. So if the gas went out, I was good. Also had a place with a wood burning stove, but if this heat goes out, it's supposed to be 19 tomorrow, 19 degrees, I think. Haven't gotten an update. That's what it was. What? Eddie, are you serious? Negative 50? Your heater? Oh, honey. Oh my goodness. Um, Bundle up. Negative 50. Hopefully, your whole family can sleep in the same room. That makes a huge difference. Might be kind of weird, as long as everybody's on the up and up. You might consider that, because I was at school walking down the hallways, and we had a Christmas music or holiday musical, and all the kids, like almost 600 kids, are at a church auditorium to perform. And we came back waiting for the buses of kids to come. It was so cold in the building. And I asked the principal, I'm like, did you guys do something with the heat? Like, no, it's just the bodies. The bodies make that big of a difference. So, whoa, be careful, because frostbite can definitely happen at that. Uh, yeah, be careful. Lily says cold wave, and you said raton. Raton. uh, Ratton. Yeah, Boca Raton. So yeah, and it's it's a Spanish word, or the two words, and it means rat. So yeah, it gets frustrating when people say things the wrong way. um, and the other thing too, there's au clair, au clair. I studied French, and it should be eau clair. And here you say eau clair, EAU, which clear water. Um, but depends on different. We have a Charlotte instead of Charlotte. People just change things. So yeah, it depends on where you live too, how you say it. I love Cocoa Beach though has changed. Cocoa Beach, Addie, when was the last? I used to love it, and last time I went down there, and the people seem to have changed. And it can be seasonal because they have so many travelers. A lot of cops, a lot of cops there. I made some cop friends at the 7-Eleven off of the main, was it 95? And I bought them donuts. There were some cool cops down there, hung out with them because I worked late nights and always got something to eat. I was staying at a hotel. Uh, Electric. Okay. Yeah. And dead serious. Dead serious. Electric is better. Yeah. That's crazy. Be careful. It is very cold. Yeah. Lily is like Michigan. It is cold here, but I can't believe you just said, would you say Iowa? Negative 50, 2014. Okay. You have a heater in your room. You slept fine last night. Be careful with space heaters, though. What's it? Is it propane, or be careful with the space heaters? You're going soon though, and yeah, get some rest. Be careful with space heaters and stay warm. And I hope to see you again. Thanks for joining us, Addie. Iowa, yeah, brr. And John says I'm using the heat a lot lately. Um, Thanks for joining us, Addie. But what did I do? I put my heat up to 76. And yeah, so much for I'm not budgeting right now because it's cold. What's weird about my place is I have a big bay window in the kitchen, and the kitchen gets cold. So it's really hard going in between rooms. The whole house is nice, but the kitchen gets cold. John says our heating system is built into the apartment. Jen, you have an electric space heater. Yeah, sometimes, some of them they're a lot safer. I think, what is it? The water-filled ones, the heat that radiates. My father had one of those, and it didn't seem to radiate that much. Um, but Addie says, "Oh no, I'm not leaving. I meant that. Oh, you're going to Cocoa Beach. Let's all go to Cocoa Beach. That's where we got to have our conference there when it's a little warmer." Um, yeah, I do like Cocoa Beach. So the last time you were there was 2014. That's about I don't know, maybe it's somewhere around there, give or take 3 years. And it's like the surfing capital. Their area code is 321. Comment below if you know why it's 321. If you don't know, I'll tell you. But that's what their area code is. At work, random channel surfing, Valiant, Thor. Good to see you. Riding the wave over to my channel. Feel free to let me know any topics or feel free to interact. We got a really good chat going on right now. So we're talking about different lies that our narcissist said, why we believed them for so long. Samantha, chime in. Are you still here? And Jen, feel free to let me know some of the things that they said, how we can uncover it. When we start understanding the different ways that they lie, the different uh, tactics that we use, we can kind of arm ourselves because we were talking about, can friends be narcissists? Valiant Thor says, watching from Los Alamos National Laboratory Isotope Production Facility. Oh, wow, that's cool. So the isotope production facility, and that's cool. Are you working right now or just kind of, and I'm not sure. I've learned about isotopes. Can't remember. Oh, so what are the isotopes used for? And that's kind of interesting. Why can't she unattach from the narcissist? Um, People in general, or are you talking about a specific person? And then I'd love to answer that, Lily. I'm correct. Vital information is mostly kept away from average citizens, but I'm a YouTube star. You can tell me. Just kidding. Um, what ends up in the hands of the public is diluted to the point of uselessness. I agree. And I can see through a lot of the things with all the BS that is fed to us. We have to use our knowledge, our intelligence. Like when we were going through the COVID stuff, I've been through nursing school. I'm not going to say I'm like a medical um, genius, but like the things that they were saying, it's like, because I'm like with the airborne and all this stuff, it's like I don't know. So John said, yeah, and it'd be nice if they gave us the information to make decisions that we really need or to understand things. We're voting on things that we don't really know. I saw another skit about this. I think it was a pretend politician, and there's two people, and all she had to do was she tried to have some political interactions with them, and then she just said, "Oh, I like what you're wearing, and you're really pretty," and then the people are like, "Oh, you got my vote." And she's like, "Really? That's all you gotta do is just say what they want to hear?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." It's kind of what it's come down to. Um, John says it was obvious that the girl wasn't very serious about the relationship. And we have to understand that sometimes we have to accept that. We see it and we don't want to believe it. Jen says, my narc husband keeps texting, playing games as we work on divorce settlement. He tries to get reactions. I hate when I mess up and give him one. That's his fuel to his fire. Yeah, uh, monotone. Just Yeah, it's hard because they slam you hard. So document everything, even if he's not necessarily doing something wrong today. Called it 842. This is what keep records because he can't even come back later. Like she never discussed this, and you're like we talked. So definitely keep a journal on that, um, and just protect yourself. Don't give in. And if you need to have another party handle the interactions, gives you a little bit more time to uh, really think about things as how you're going to respond to it. John says, oh, I'm sorry, Lily, ooh, can't she dump him? I know easier said than done, but he sounds like a piece of shit. Um, just like my friend in the hospital without her toe on her birthday. And she's like, I love him though. She's kind of at the point now, but years of the abuse. We go through that cognitive dissonance that, he, try to justify it. Like he had a bad day, or money's tight, or, um, you know, the one with the 14-year old, it's still a learning lesson too. I'm 52. I'm still learning these lessons. Because we're hurt. We don't want to lose something we love. And we don't realize that we have the power. So some of it goes to our self-esteem too, or not wanting to give up on an investment, or the embarrassment of having to tell people what happened. So it takes us strength. Uh, and I get it, Lily. I get it. John says, "Are there aliens?" Actually, yeah, Valiant Thor. John wants to know this: are there aliens actually visiting our planet? Who knows for sure? Uh, Ali, are you asking if I'm married? No, I'm not married. Are you? You want to be? And let me know if I said that right. Is it Ali? Uh, and or were you asking? Oh, uh, are you asking? Oh, you're not asking me if I'm married. Who's asking who? Let's all just get married. Um, Valiant Thor says, John Moran, life exists all around us. We're visited often. The civilian space program has found many things on the moon to indicate civilizations previous, if not current. Oh, Valiant Thor, you got to join us a lot more than you have. You got some interesting information. Um, yeah, it's kind of like, what's going on? There's some pretty amazing things out there, things we have no clue. Like the universe is so vast. And John says, you truly believe that. Addie, that says that's what happens. Valiant, Thor, Ali, Aoud. Oh, is that your last name? Okay. I have over 9 figures in disposable income, no debt, good health, no kids. What is missing from my life? Do you have love? Um, I hope so. I hope so. It's something necessary for us. And Addie says it happened with him. Lily, mine was easy break because I grew to hate him. Your friend, doesn't she take your advice? Um, so when you grow to hate them, there are certain boundaries that you're like, fuck this shit, I'm out. So that's when they did lost for word, long day. Um, a deal breaker. There are deal breakers that get you to hate them. Oh, Valiant Thor retracted it. Uh-oh. And um, so I hope I didn't say something wrong. But oh, Valiant Thor. Oh, I hope. Um, I'm trying to keep up. So, Ali, thank you for saying I'm not here to judge you. I'm a man and I'm asking myself how in the future I would be attracted sexually to the same women for 15 to 20 years. I mean, in marriage. So, Ali, are you asking, uh, is it possible to still be attracted to somebody after 15 to 20 years? That you're a little worried about that? Is that what you're asking? Uh, Oh, Addie, I know. I don't like the thought of aliens. Jesus. Yeah, what do we think about Jesus, the birth? 2 days away. And it's already been passed. Sometimes, too, good point. Is it a religious entity or angels? We all, a lot of us, I can't say we all, but we sense something, whether it's a higher power or some people say the universe, or the magical thinking within us, how we can determine our outcomes. There's definitely frequencies, like we are. um, yeah, I hope you guys have seen my hurricane video where I talk about that one grain of sand kicked up in the air, how just one little speck of sand can actually cause a hurricane. Type in hurricane in my channel. You should be able to see it. I had the link to the video. I don't know if it's National Geographic or somebody like that, but they did a great job. In the description, you'll see that. It's pretty fascinating. And that's kind of like what we are with each other, where one little thing twists and turns and everything gets altered. Um, so please clarify that, Ellie, if that's what you're saying. Like, is it possible it's, you know, be sexually attracted to somebody? Because I've done that for about 20 years. It can, love helps you overlook the flaws. And if you're not in love, kind of hone into the flaws. And that's why with our narcissists, with them not having a true love, they start picking apart the flaws because it's not a true love. And Lily says they're ungrateful. Addie says, Lily, oh gosh, am I falling behind? No matter what you do or say, John, my narcissist acted very immature, and they do have that childlike state. That's why I keep referring it to like the kids at school. Um, that's they go back to their childhood and how they handle things, and also their interpretation of what we're saying, the amount of uh, depth and the time that they're willing to change certain actions. I see it with the kids. They're good for a little bit, then screw it. You just go back to whatever. Thank you, Lily. I'm hoping she'll be okay. She's kind of stable right now. She's out of the ICU. The COVID seems to be better. But, uh, my mom's pretty heavy and has some kidney failure, diabetes, not strong enough. She had some blood clots in her lungs and her heart, so a lot of stuff. Valiant Thor, relationships are extremely tough within the black budget world. I can believe that. I can believe that. And um, Ali says yes. Uh, Valiant Thor says, can I just call you Thor? It's easier if that's okay. Tell me no if it's not. At this stage, civilians are too intellectually and technologically feeble to detect, much less comprehend the kind of communication that's occurring amongst much more advanced species. And that's the thing, too. There's certain things that might be out there and we don't comprehend it. Just like with our narcissists, we don't comprehend it, so it doesn't exist. It's easier to just say, yep, it doesn't exist. So I don't know. That'd be interesting. Thor, I hope you keep joining us so we can kind of figure this out. Let's figure out the purpose of life and what's out there. Jen says, I don't know because I lost attraction to my husband long ago. But I would think if there is a positive emotional connection, you will stay attracted. Yeah. And I talked about my narcissistic neighbor, and he's a freak. He uh, was engaged, and he's all about pornography. He's all about masturbation, like over the top. And he was engaged, and uh, they broke it off. And he had said, like, I can't even get it up for her anymore because just the tension between them. So the emotion, like she was beautiful. They were very active sexually, and then when the emotion shit happened, sometimes that'll shut it off. Like that's all. Like his whole life is about sex and porn and erections, and it affected him. So sometimes too, if we're not emotionally connected, it affects you know uh, things like that. Thor says are two reasons for incomplete disclosures. I wish this moved smoothly because it makes okay. Uh, okay. It. Sorry, I don't know. There are two reasons for incomplete disclosure of these subjects. One, our planet's civilization would suffer huge social and economical upheavals and crimes against humanity. And what do you think about how they're talking about building habitats? And I want to say they said Mars or something, which I don't know how we could even function on Mars, but they're talking about building self-contained place to send humans uh, where they uh, self with self-functioning. I can't think of the right word. Um, and crimes against humanity. So I'm interested how it would cause crimes against humanity. Admitting to all the secrets regarding abductions, fraudulent technology, patents, ongoing above top secret projects, discrediting witnesses and ruining careers. Um, Now there are abductions, and I'm not sure with aliens, and I'm not saying I don't know enough about it, but all the abductions that are going on in this world. And do I wear socks while doing your live stream? Yes, I am wearing some socks today. I almost put on my Christmas socks. Maybe I'll put those on. I wear socks all the time. Uh, uh, Alzouk? How do I say your name? Alzouk 65. How do I say? Alzouk. I'm going to call you that. Tell me if that's wrong. I don't know how to say your name. Ali. So you say that real love is an infinite creator of sexual attraction. No, because I love my daughter and I'm not sexually attracted to her. So, um, no. Uh, can it, there has to be the desire too, the connection. And, uh, you know, um, it, I don't know. I don't know exactly how to answer that because uh, it's not the creator of the sexual attraction. Um, it's kind of like an important aspect of it because the chemistry and the tenderness and the communication. So you can love somebody without the communication, and just like I said about my narcissistic neighbor, it shut it down. The communication wasn't there. The time. So it's an important part of it, but not all of it. So comment below if you think that was a good answer. John says very true. JG says haha to alms. Uh, Ans. JG, weird fetish folk are here. I could tell. And a lot of it can relate to our childhood, you know. Um, yeah, sometimes it can. Jen, I can't believe your neighbors tell you all that. They do. We went through lockdown and um, you know and that's the thing too, sometimes it's uh kind of showing off certain things. I'm very easygoing, like you guys, you're never going to offend me. There's nothing you can't tell me, and I'm very easygoing. I don't judge people as far as being able to communicate with them, so they have a comfort. They're also drunks, so they talk a lot about certain things. And I'm 20 years older than them, so I don't know if I'm kind of like uh, a mother figure in a sense. Thor says, "Tell your mother everything will be okay." In the black budget world, we know and understand that death is a human construct; it does not exist. Yeah, the spirit. I believe, that life goes on. The thing is that my mom's an atheist, and my dad was extremely religious, and sometimes he would push her more away from religion to even think about it. And I'm religious, and I asked my mom, what is it that you believe? And she's like, I don't even know. And she doesn't want to think about it. um, so you know uh, it kind of breaks my heart. If her beliefs were the same as mine, it's kind of important to know. Not that I'm right, but um, you know, where do we go? Where do we go after we die? I told you I had a couple near death experiences. I saw myself going down this tunnel with like a white light at the end, and I didn't know what was on the other side and snapped myself out. I've had it where I was in a car accident flying, and I had this calmness. Um, I went through 45 minutes from dying from a miscarriage. I was bleeding out. They had to give me blood transfusions, and I had just lost uh, a baby. You know, I was pregnant, and I was sad about that. I also had a daughter who was age 16, and I was still at peace. Like, I didn't want to leave my daughter. Um, you know, I was sad about, but I was at peace. And it was the weirdest feeling that everything's going to be okay. When my dad passed, he had a near death experience, and uh, I don't know. Um, I believe the spirit goes on. Uh, I don't know if I believe in it going into a different person. Um, because it would be nice if that happened, that we carry some of our knowledge with us, because we start all over. Tableau rase. Um, is that raso or rase? Tableau rase. Clean slate French. Uh, not that I have the right accent. So uh, Thor says virtually all do not support life such as we know it. We exist in a universe that does support so-called life as you know it. Yeah. Um, Thor says, you will experience and have experienced every instance of so-called life. You, me, him, and I hope it doesn't beep up again. We are instances of the same life, separated by what we call death. Let's dive into this. Hold on. You will experience and have experienced every instance. You, me, him. We are instances of the same life, separated by what we call death. Everybody's it's kind of like we're all going through the same life. How do you word it? Moments in time, but we each have our own separate lives. Uh, but the full separation is death. And JG says, we are aliens, Earth aliens. If you think about it, you know, my mom's from the Netherlands, so she's an alien. I get what you're saying. I know mine's a little different. But if I was to go to her country, I'd be an alien. Earth angel. No angels. Earth. Not singing angelically. And that's the thing. Are we aliens? You know, if there are aliens out there, we are aliens. It has to be. Uh, I know Jen. That's a scary thing. Jen says abductions are usually human trafficking. There is such a high rate of human trafficking. Um, yeah. The drugging, the kidnapping, and scaring people into things. Uh, it's crazy. And Nathan is joining us. John Moran says, JG, thumbs up. Good to see you, Nathan. We got a good discussion going on. And anti theism, JG, against God. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, John has nice little Christmas decorations going on. Samantha says, sexual attraction can be just chemical. Love is a connection even stronger than sex. So, yeah, there's a difference between a true connection. You know, some people are happy with just the sexual attraction. Others need that love connection. Others confuse sex for love. But uh, Samantha says, Nathan, Merry Christmas. John says, very true, Samantha. Um, it's nice to have the whole package when you love each other and you're attracted. That's why I'm single, because I need that. Oh my goodness, I dropped my camera. Peekaboo. Sorry, guys. It's upside down. I need a camera person. There. Woo. Little Christmas surprise for you. How's that? And that's the thing I hate. I don't mind spending the money on a good camera and my computer. I went through so many computers, and this is the best I could find is uh, external camera. I went through so many computers. It was like I got dizzy trying to look at myself. The cameras were horrible. They were so fuzzy, and I wore glasses. I felt like I had to put glasses upon glasses and couldn't see. Um, so Jen says, when I turned 41, I started having religious experiences. Yeah, share some of those if you could, because um, yeah, some of those crazy experiences brought me into believing too. You say unbelievable. I was an atheist before that time. Yeah, and God works in mysterious ways. Ali says, "Don't worry, your mom is a good person, and she will be with you in paradise, and God will forgive all good people with good heart. The most important is having a good heart." And I hope so, because it's kind of sad when my grandmother passed away. Also, my grandpa. People are trying to reassure me that it's okay. You know, they'll be in heaven. And based on my religion, kind of doesn't work that way. So that's the thing that's hard to understand is, you know, we're kind of sometimes the product of our environment, and uh, I think it should be like a good heart. I don't know. Gets kind of deep. So well said. Thank you, John. Lily, are you asking me if I'm Aries? No, I'm an airhead. Just kidding. Leo. I'm a Leo. And ouch, lol. Did I hurt you when I dropped the camera? Oh, you are, JG. You're attracted to me. Haha. And then you laugh it off. Doesn't mean you're not really. Thank you, JG. John says, oops. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of clumsy. That's why I had all those broken bones. Thor says, if your mind, body, or soul contains hate, greed, or envy, the craft will reject you. You will expire violently and immediately. Could be, could be, could be. It's hard to know what's out there. Thor says most of the craft are live biological entities. And is that like witchcraft? Is that where the word craft comes from? Uh, I can understand the biological entities. And Nathan says, Cynthia's your buddy. Yes. What are they called? Nutty buddies? JG, Jen, was it a delusion? Talk a little more, Jen. We got some interest in your comment. And Lily says, Leo. Okay, cool. I hope that's okay. Who is that? Fire sign, I think, right? I caught on fire on my birthday when I was 5. Jen's a Leo, August 4th. Oh, July 26th. Pretty close, pretty close. Like a week away from each other. And probably a couple of years. I don't know how old you are. Lily says, then all narcs will expire. That's where it's hard. A lot of people think they're demons or just cold hearted, like a lost soul, um, you know. And JG, no, I'm serious. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. See, I curled my hair, but I have to there you go. Curled my hair today. Can't see it. Thor says, thank you, JG. My previous comment, many homeless, transient, illegal immigrants are used to test fly exotic recovered ET craft. And that's a thing, like, they used to use prisoners, and you kind of wonder on the down low what really happens. And I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. We are not on the up and up with people. Lily says I have a good life insurance on the narc, LOL. And yeah, I don't know what to say to that. Well, you take me out for lunch. You're a Libra. Um, and that's a free spirit. Libra, is that September, end of September? Or is that Pisces? I get Libra. I get them mixed up. Pisces and Libra, I get mixed up. Uh, and I was kind of thinking too, uh, how in our early ages, how maybe even the time of our birth does kind of make a difference because they have like, I don't know. That's too deep for today. September 28th is your birthday. Well, I'll have to remember that. September 28th. And it was on a Monday this year. Am I correct? It's on a Monday. Was I correct? You're Ex-narcissist is a Leo, Nathan. I'm sorry. It happens. Not all Leos are crazy. And we got an Aries here. And you know what was weird? I was looking at my analytics on what people search the most for, and it was uh, about horoscopes, astrological signs. And what do you guys think? Do you think there's something to astrology? My first one, the first narcissist I was with, he was a Virgo and I was a Leo. Supposedly, a male Virgo and a female Leo are the worst combination. So, what do you guys think about that? But the lies that they say, it, with all the gaslighting, it's hard to know. Uh, because like sociopaths and stuff, they can sometimes pass lie detector tests, so we are kind of missing out on the clues. And JG says hair looks fine, you've got style, soul, personality, and looks. Thank you guys. So if you like me, do me a favor, hit that like button. Helps with the analytics or analog. Always forget. Algorithm. I don't know why I struggle with the word algorithm. Lily says you don't study the science, just think some things are coincident. It can be. It can be. Yeah. Um, thank you guys. Because I love that we're building a community. A lot of you have been repeat people, and it's really nice when we start to get to know each other. We encourage each other and try to understand what went wrong. A lot of people will watch these replays and hopefully they can get some help from our stories. Because in these relationships, unless you've been through it, a lot of people can't relate to it. And so when you're trying to talk through it, people, just like my friend, she wouldn't listen to anything I said, but she could. It's so weird. Sometimes they get blinded. They don't understand what they're going through, or when they get it, they can't explain it. John says, I'm a beautiful woman and great person. Thank you. I try to be. And that's the thing. We got to be true to ourselves. Some people are thinking about revenge, things like that. And that's just changing who we are. So we have to try to stay true to ourselves. Nathan says, you're an Aries. Uh, Um, so, yeah, lots of different birthdays. Jen says, feel free, Samantha, if you're still here, everybody else, feel free to join in. Jen says, first husband put coffee and maker ready to go in my grandma's attack room after she died. What's an attack room? Attic. Are you saying attic? ATTIC? In the attic? ATTIC? Um, uh, so, yeah, in the attic after she died. And bed woke up and said, I want coffee. Let me read this again. First husband put coffee maker, ready to go in my grandma's attic room after she died. In bed, woke up and said, I want coffee to my narc husband. Coffee across the room started dripping. Oh, Jennifer. Really, Jen? Wow. And if you don't like me calling you that, you got to tell me that. I like nicknames. Right, Sammy Sam? JG, I never had an ex narcissist. I see it quick and get away. And that's good. Some people are in tune to it. Thank you for the likes, guys. Helps with the algorithm. I see that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jen says, my husband jumped up. What the fuck? He went over there and sparks started flying at him from a nearby electrical socket. He was scared. He was flailing and almost fell down the attic stairs. Wow. Yeah, some of you might remember this, but I told you when I was in an old doctor's office that I converted into an apartment above my store, and there's no windows. And I woke up and there's this. It looked like Venetian blinds that opened with the brightest light, and as I'm like focusing on it, they instantly shut, and it was completely dark again. But it was the brightest light, looked like Venetian blinds. I've had things like you feel that they're touching, and other kind of things too. But Jen, is that a story? Wow. Thor, blessed night to you too. And thank you. I'm glad you liked and subscribed. I hope to see you again. Thank you, Thor. Very interesting having you here. John says, smart JG. Nathan says, yes. Lily, yes, your good, genuine soul shines through. Thank you in my videos and your creativity. And I crack up at them, but they are very artistic. And I don't know if you guys saw this. This is kind of like, um, lets you know about society. I did this video just tonight, so you might not have seen it, but it was about histrionic females and personality disorder. Histrionic. Amber Heard is histrionic and borderline. Um, so it was on narcissistic females and also histrionic. And I'll be honest, I was wearing a bra, but my hair covered everything and I still had my jeans on. But it was kind of, you didn't see anything really, but I got, I can look at it right now. It was like 600 some within the first hour or two. Let's see where it's at right now. Um, 613. Let's see if that's still where it's at. Uh, but the same videos, let me get it up so I can see it and tell you guys. I did several shorts today and I did, this is interesting. I did one, it's talking about it bloody sucks, whatever. It's a tampon one for my short that got 24 views. Then I did the narcissist will show you red flags. It's a good looking man with me in like a FaceTime thing. That got 10 views. That's a good looking guy, 10 views. I did snowmore abuse. It's a snowman, and that got 23 views. Okay, so this was this afternoon. Now, the female narcissist or histrionic may do this abuse. 613 views. The next one, celebrate the holidays with us. Holiday live chat got 2 views. These are all within an hour. 613 views on that one. And it's either sex sells or there's so many female narcissists that people are liking it just because of the comment and validation. Same with histrionic. And it was kind of like a psychology test to see. And so thank you for liking my shorts. The filters kind of stimulate certain things, but it's just interesting, like what people are drawn to, and people are drawn to the cockiness. And there's that one sociopath who I think she's a model, but she is flat out a sociopath, a flat effect, and manipulates people. The things she's done, she admits to it because she's getting supply. But there's so many people are like, you go girl and teach me this and more power to you. I wish I could be like you. And it's like, I wish I could be a bitch. Like, I wish I could control people like that. It's kind of sad. So thank you, Lily. And I'm glad I crack you up. I like fun stuff. And John says, I love her shorts. My shorts are wearing long pants. Oh, so many good jokes. Jen says, we went back home and I saw a small undulating ball of fire undulate down my hall. Big word though, Jen. Good job on that vocabulary. Into my bedroom. I started screaming and it whizzed by with a humming sound and went through my wall. That's you, like we're hearing things, seeing things. How do we explain it? Something just kind of levitating and yeah, ball of fire too. Was it a brightness and you're using the word fire, or was it like on like flaming, like actual flames? Um, you, I love you. I know. Thank you for noticing. I did do Christmas red. Thank you, Nathan. Except you didn't do my nails red. I don't like pink and red together. I don't know why. I just don't. Jen says, I have several more, but all unbelievable. And that's the thing. It's like we want to share with people, but they're like, you're off your rocker. Jen, I believe you. I have several more. All seem unbelievable to some people. Unless you experience it. That's like with this narcissistic abuse. Unless you experience it, you're going to think we're crazy. And none since your husband left 2 years ago. Interesting. My grandma loved me and hated him. I believe she was trying to communicate. Hey, she probably was. And Stephanie's joining us. Hi, Stephanie. We have an excellent group here today. Feel free to join in. So glad to have you here. Nathan says, once I watched your reply and that it was replied. What do you mean? That you watched me and I replied to you? Because Nathan, yeah, we've had a pretty good YouTube relationship for a while. John says I just posted a video short showing an asteroid entering a black hole, just playing around with the effects. John gets real creative with the videos, and he was really sweet. Sent me a holiday video on YouTube, so that was really sweet. And you hate the cockiness. Maybe I should have worded it different. Some people have a confidence, and yeah, sometimes it comes across as cocky, sometimes it comes across as arrogant, sometimes it seems like a genuine confidence. So when I said cockiness, I kind of intertwine things. So yeah, um, and when we communicate with people, it's good. Like you, how we try to figure out what words we really mean. And JG says, let's go on a date. I don't even know where you're from. But where are you from, JG? Are you? I can't see. Let me. Oh, I don't know. Can I look at your profile right now? Quit moving. I don't know. I see. It's so small. Uh, so JG, where do you want to take me? I'm not leaving the house for another 2-3 days because it's the snowstorm. Comment below how many inches you guys have gotten in snow so far. And Jen says, yes, bright yellowish white, very, very bright. And that's the thing too. The light I saw was pure white. Yours was yellowish white, but very bright. Interesting. And I told you too, when I was having that near death experience, I saw that white at the end of a tunnel and it was bright. Everything else was dark. It was zooming in and I didn't know what was on the other side. And John says, I saw something similar years ago after your grandma passed away. Huh, John, was there any circumstances surrounding it? Sometimes too, I had talked to my dad before he passed, and I asked him if he can ever come back. How would I know? Is there some symbol? And we picked the butterfly, and you never know if you see a butterfly. My dad might be sending you love from beyond. But pipe dream. So you're not gonna tell me where you're gonna take me for coffee. um, so big hugs, JG. So where am I? Confidence can get twisted for cockiness by foolish people. You're right, JG. Exactly. And Jen says, yes, I can't tell some of my husband's crazy antics because it is unbelievable. Yes, what the heck's going on? Samantha says, oh, you got to go. Love you so much, Samantha. Hopefully I'll be able to see you over the holidays. And thanks for joining us. I love having you here. You've been a great support. Big hugs to you. And I'll look for that email. Sleep well. John says, take care, Samantha. Lots of smiles and hugs. And good. So, yeah, and we kind of get along with each other. Would I date a 31-year-old? I'm too young for that. I have. I have. John, so I guess that means yes. Samantha says, good night, John. Your grandma passed away in your house. Did you sense that like a presence was still there? And JG, did you hear how old I was? Do you know how old I am? Um, and my friend was just telling me too about what caused the lingering of like a spirit. You did, yeah, and sometimes too. Yeah, oh, take a guess and then I'll tell you, or John will tell you. John remembers, I think, but you gotta let JG answer first. um, Oh, I will date you. Yep, sold. One more guess. It's not 36. And then I'll tell you. I don't even have my filter on tonight. So, now I don't know if I want to tell you. But, be careful of the holiday Hoover. It can happen. And it's good to be prepared on how we're going to handle things. John says, "Oh, John, do you remember how old I am?" Yes, you do. You remember everything. Waiting on John to see if he answers. I sometimes feel my girlfriend is still around here in some way, and yeah, John lost his girlfriend. Um, yeah, good job, John. So yeah, I'm 52. I'm 52 and a half. My half birthday we'll have to celebrate is coming up next month. Lily says, wish we all could see each other. I think one day let's get this channel growing. Like for that algorithm to go. If I get big enough, heck yeah, I'll set up some little conferences and trips around the world. That'd be nice to meet up with each other. Even just like what's his name? Raw Motivation. He does like healing things. I think I haven't checked into it too much, but conferences and retreats. So yeah, 52. Not quite 52 and a half yet. I miss being able to, I used to when I was like 36, I'm like, I'm my bra size. I can't say that now. I'm not, I'm not my bra size anymore. Um, but well, thank you. Thank you. It's because I'm in Michigan and I'm frozen half the year. It preserves my youth. And you know what? My channel is growing. I've only been doing this like a little over a year. I just had my maybe a year and 3 weeks or something. In the first couple months, I didn't really do much with it, so it's really grown. But I'll tell you what, Nameless Narcissist, we were kind of neck and neck, started at the same time. He is way above me, but I've been dealing, with some deaths and taking care of family members, and um, a Zoom mic come up in the future. Yeah, to see each other. That would be good. Um, we'll have to figure out everybody's time zones. I don't know how much. There's like a 40-minute limit. I don't have the professional Zoom. It can be upgraded, but I think there's a limit of 12 people. Do you guys know? I've taught online where I've taught 176 people at one time, but that was through somebody else's software. Um, I love big groups of people. You were with a girl in her 50s. And how did that go with the age difference? And why aren't you still with her? And it's hard to see. It's hard to see in this if you're a man or a woman. It looks like you have long hair. I just can't see the face. So I thought you were a woman. Okay. And I think you're a beautiful woman, but I can't see you. So I'm assuming you're a beautiful woman. You look pretty put together. It's just a small little thing. I got the worst eyesight. Um, so uh, Spicoli from Fast Times. I see. I grew up so, and I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Uh, Fast Times from Ridgemont High. Is that what you're talking about? Was she a narcissist? Yeah. JG, is that you? Game over. How long were you with her, JG? Um, and you have it on DVD. I've never seen it. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I grew up pretty sheltered, almost to a detriment. Like I was protected, but out in the real world, I'm so behind the time. Maybe that's why I look 32 or 36, because I'm behind the times on life, trying to catch up. Grew up way too sheltered. Good family, but sometimes even good parents can cause problems. She wasn't a narcissist, her family was. Very wealthy woman from Malibu. What caused you guys to break up? You don't have to share if you don't want to. But yeah, it can be, and there's narcissistic families. Women can be narcissists. Um, a lot of people have mental illness, and now we're kind of suffering sometimes with anxiety, depression, CPTSD, and being sometimes the in-laws or family members can wreak havoc on us, and it can infiltrate the relationship, you know, because I don't know if your person was trying to stand up for the family or just the exposure, it was out of your realm, or the arguments you wanted to defend yourself. Like it's a lot of energy. I relate it to the kids at school, like, whew, um, with the holidays coming up. Also, the snow day, we didn't have school on Friday. So Thursday was ridiculous. The kids lost their freaking minds. And by the end of the day, I was like sick of it. I had the fourth graders and it just got out of hand. Kids are getting hurt. They're not being cautious. I'm in an art room. There's supplies and paint and scissors and um, that one little girl, like she seems really sweet. But she had told him, how would you feel if you grew up and you were a teacher and these kids acting that way? And they kind of laugh it off, or they're like, yeah, I get it. And then they go right back to, and I'm not saying the kids are narcissists, but the narcissistic mind is a lot like a child, unless it's intellectual. They can be quite smart. They're smart enough to, you know, lie. Had to chime in. Zoom call sounds awesome. Yeah, we'll have to figure out when we can do that. Right now, things are a little unpredictable with my mom. I don't even know where I'm going to be on Monday. Uh, but I'll travel with my computer, so we could probably set something up. Maybe a little Christmas present where we can see each other somehow. Is it only a 12-person limit, though? That's, I don't know. I know how to switch between, but I think it maxes out at 12. Lily, I asked a friend what he thinks a narcissist is, and he said someone who can't pass up a mirror. So many people think it means conceited. Yeah, some people just think it's like, oh, I'm good looking. No, it goes way deeper than that, because being conceited, self-absorbed, well, it, this is hard. Conceited, I'm going to look up the exact term. I know what it means, but sometimes the tricky thing is, because I was going to say self-absorbed, so I want to see the exact definition. I know how to pronounce it. Oh, come on. Sometimes things are real easy. Too proud of yourself and your actions and your abilities without wishing to sound, let me give you an example. Having an excessively favorable opinion on appearance and ability, self-centered. Okay, so I was going to say self-absorbed. So when you're self-absorbed, you don't think about other people. And so conceited might kind of be it, but some of them can be aggressive or passive aggressive. And you don't have the Zoom app. Zoom is free to download. Zoom is free. You can use it on your phone. So that won't be a problem for you, John, just so you know. Jen's, so conceited, I don't know, when we go by that definition, you got your vulnerable too. So yeah, it's more than just being conceited. Jen says, I thought that it meant looking in the mirror too much until I figured out my husband's pathological patterns. Yeah, it's not just I'm pretty, I'm prettier than you, or I'm more handsome. It's to the detriment of others. And like I could think I'm pretty all day long. That's not going to hurt anybody if I can still interact with people, not abuse them. But they everything's about them. Now NPD is more on the forefront. Yeah, is it growing, or is it just it was overlooked, or is more socially acceptable that the man was allowed to act that way? And now also with women, and just like my beautiful woman on here right now, we're having more same-sex things going on. Things are different now. We're starting to learn. So Lily says, and sociopaths, yeah, not a good definition in the sense how we talk about narcs, because it's becoming more evident. And that's the thing. I told you guys too about the ADHD, like just a few years ago, and I got it spot on. with the numbers. So hopefully I remember them correctly. I think today I might mess them up by one or two. But it started out as like 167, one in 167 children have ADHD, autism. And it went, started changing, one in 127, and blah, blah, blah. Now, man, tonight I don't remember it, one in 79 or 65. And it's like, this is just in a few years span. Like they kept changing the billboard that I'm driving by, and it was rapid within 5 years. I don't know, my time kind of could be 3 years, could be 10 years, but somewhere around 5 years. For it to be that drastic, one in 65 or something like that. And is it we're just discovering it now? Is it due to, vaccinations or pesticides or whatever? But is it just that it was overlooked? And we are encouraging narcissism in our society. We don't even realize it. And we're doing that through coddling, giving rewards for things that really aren't deserved. Like, it's crazy that, it's good to be fair, but, not everybody is going to be the winning team. Not everybody is going to be the winner of the beauty pageant. Not everybody is going to, and we're so concerned about not hurting anybody's feelings that nobody has coping skills. We also, and I get it, the support animals, but they're not dealing, and maybe some of them are still going through the process of healing, but they're not dealing with the issues that they're putting it onto an external thing, like an animal, and needing that animal now. Also, the entitlement of, I have to be led into this place. And I get it. There are a lot of traumas, and I know support animals can be very helpful to people. So I hope that doesn't come across the wrong way. But I had the calm down corners at school. We used to have to work through our problems, and now you can run from them. You can take it, sometimes there's kids that they take a minute and they come out. Others just don't deal with their problems. So it can be healthy for some people and not healthy for others. Yeah. I agree with you, Lily. John says because it's okay. Lily, the Amber Heard trial brought awareness about narcissists. In fact, I watched a lot of that, and that's how your shorts came to me. Oh, interesting. Now, she was not a narcissist. Everybody said she was, or she was misdiagnosed. Now, borderlines are usually females that kind of replicate kind of the same things as a narcissist. But she was also histrionic, so she had comorbidities, and people got to be careful. Based on the expert, she wasn't a narcissist. But they have similar traits. And John says the aliens are to blame. Well, quit. Don't you have some alien landing videos? Quit bringing them to Earth. But Johnny Depp, before I get into it, Lily, do you think he was a narcissist, or was he a pure victim? The funny thing is, some think Amber was a narcissist, and some. What do you think, Jenny? I'd like to know. And as always, if you don't like the nicknames I give you, feel free to tell me, and I'll stop to the best of my ability. And that means that you're a term of endearment. Amber was over the top. Johnny, he definitely was a victim. Like, she did way too much. We got to be careful with the reactive abuse. But you think Amber was a narcissist? According to expert testimony, she wasn't. She was borderline and histrionic. Histrionic is where they use their bodies, their sexuality for power. And it was crazy that she was with Elon Musk, the world's richest man. Also, Johnny Depp, one of the most prominent stars out there. And JP, oh, JG, I didn't see any. Um, Thank you for bringing that up. Her family were narcissists is the last I saw. Maybe, and I'm new to the live stream. What could happen is maybe they're coming through at the same time and it bumped you out. Feel free to do it again. You guys can see the text, correct? So if you don't see it pop up, please let me know. JG says Heard was the narcissist. According to testimony, the whatchamacallit, psychological evaluation, and they went in depth where she had to write out her answers. So you can kind of see the little word patterns. That makes a difference. Someone's deleting your comments. I don't know, JG. I'm sorry. Right now it seems to be working, and a couple people left. John, I don't know. Maybe I'm running out of my time on my free trial. I don't know. Or maybe it looks like there's only 2 of you in the room. This software is kind of confusing. I might be running out of time on my free trial. JG, please try again. But the relationship was definitely toxic. Narcissist after us. Are after us? The narcissists are cutting off your text. I would agree with that. That's not fair. Guys, be nice. Sorry. Thank you for letting me know. Always let the moderator know what's going on, because we don't always know that stuff, and I might have to troubleshoot some stuff because I want everybody to be free to interact. Or alien narcissist, maybe John. But what were some of the things? Like, he did say, I need some space, and he did try to reassure her, like, I will be back. This is what I'm doing. But he also didn't connect with her needs. Now, I'm not saying she was in the right, but he also didn't connect. He was dismissive to her needs. And could have all been different if they knew how to communicate, if they stopped, listened, understood each other. They escalated it, both of them. So I saw many times he was narcissistic, and he's also real quiet. What was it? His mother was very abusive. You think, and Lily, I told you about my friend, well, acquaintance, coworker, whatever you want to call her. But she was misdiagnosed for 20 years as bipolar, and she's borderline. And with the way people lie, also self-perception, makes it like I say, oh, I am confident, I am beautiful. And people are like, no, you're not. Other people don't see you that way, or whatever it is, because I'm like, my mom says I'm beautiful. And, so some people, it's perception, and then it's mingled with the interpretation of the psychologist, psychiatrist, and they both love the drama. They fed off of it. But like I think when she came on too strong, like he was cocky with her and dismissive, like, before he knew she was filming that one, the wine bottle where he was at the cabinets, slammed the cabinet, and he was drunk. That's the other thing too. Drugs and alcohol make a difference in the interactions. It's usually an escape method, which means there's probably something deeper going on. But she was like, what's going on? And he's like, does it look like it's fucking affecting you? Like he was going through something, but he bitched her out. And if she truly meant, which she probably didn't, but if she truly meant, like, sweetie, what's going on? Like, he attacked her, but he probably saw through her. Exactly. And they love the drama. Yep. Lily, they did. Jen says he was never, Jen says he was never cruel to her. Once a man starts losing appendages, I don't blame him for leaving during arguments. She got violent. Yeah. But he would do the Aquaman and like he did some shit too. He did some shit too. And usually it's during the heated exchange that the true shit comes out. But I mean, he went through some crap and there is the reactive abuse. And that's why when we have our CPTSD, some of us want revenge. It's almost like we're being turned into narcissists if we don't have the empathy or, uh, we feel lost connection. JG, you ever see play Misty for me? Uh, is there a play Misty? I'm not understanding the way you worded that. You ever see play Misty for me? Is there Misty for me as the name of a play? I'm misunderstanding because I haven't seen it. If that's what you're talking about. Um, so the cruelness is, I don't think he physically abused her. And this is just my opinion. I did watch pretty much the entire court thing, um, except like maybe running to the bathroom. I really did watch it, but he was dismissive, and he wasn't understanding at times. But he's also fed up. Uh, so he was like mimicking or just like the Aquaman or, oh, you think you're so good, um, kind of like you're a low rate. Uh, and I'm not defending her, but um, I don't. And there's a lot of good to him too. There's a lot of, and that's the thing that gets confusing. It's like we see the good in the narcissist. Like he went to the children's hospital dressed as Jack Sparrow. Um, he's soft spoken. Just you know. It's hard. It's hard to get to really truly know someone. She did bring out the worst in him. Yeah. And the movie, Amber beat up her girlfriend. Yeah. And her sister too. Yes. So Amber was definitely the loose cannon. And was he perfect? There's all different variations of how severe somebody narcissistically abuses someone, what their triggers are. So, yeah. If they both were rough on each other, but she was like probably 100 times worse. You know, uh, yeah, she was 1,000 times worse. Um, Lily says that movie. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that movie. I haven't seen it. Is it called Play Misty for Me? Play Misty for Me. I don't know. They got that Gaslit out, and what was the other one I wanted to see? Um, Gaslit is kind of, I think it's a newer version, not the original, with Julia Roberts in it. Um, Something you might want to see. It kind of explains narcissism, how it makes you feel crazy and can screw your life and have nobody believing in you. You'll see the twists and turns of how it unfolds. So it's a movie. I'll have to see. I don't. I don't usually watch movies, but I need to. Usually, I don't know. And I told you too, from my childhood, my dad was always, oh, what is this? Always made, because he was so religious, we couldn't even watch like the Brady Bunch where he kissed her on the cheek or something. It was ridiculous. I have to show this. He had 3 girls, didn't want them kissing, I guess. I don't know. Uh, John says, well, all I can say is my narcissist ghosted me a lot. Yeah, comment below if you've been ghosted. That's one of, or the silent treatment. That to me, they treat you like you're dead, and it makes you feel like oh, that's so horrendous, so horrendous that they do that. They ghost and didn't really care about me and had others harass you. Yeah, you had a lot of harassment, John. She was pretty shady towards. And wasn't it too? She was trying to use you for money to buy drugs, or I don't know. It's a must watch. Okay, well, okay, JG, Clint Eastwood. I guess it is a must watch. Heard was. Oh, wait, Heard was in it. Heard was the star of it. Huh. JG, who's got control over the comments in here? Just you. I just kind of let it just go. I don't know. Everybody knows, like, there's hackers. No, nobody. Let me double check. I'm new to this. Participants, pop out chat. Oh, I can pop out chat. Let's try this. Uh, oh, wait. Let me try this. Guys, be nice to JG. How do I do that? I don't, I'm still learning this, guys. Let's see if I can do this. This might be fun. Go to, uh, we'll do this. Maybe I'll set something up with one of you. Um, to, no, I don't know. Did I lose you guys? Let me see. I went back to it. Oh, I hope it didn't mess. That's why I don't like doing it live. Say something to me, guys. It says top chat. I think. Oh goodness, did I just ruin it? Okay, it's here. Now I can't see myself. How did I do this, guys? I can see you guys now. It's called Play Misty for Me. It's an old movie. Okay. Still here. You're here. Thanks for letting me know. That's why I wasn't going to do this. I don't know how to restore it. So I'll just smile to you guys. And thank you for hanging in while I learn. It's a learning process. It said, nothing to see here. We popped out. How do you unpop? Pop, pop, pop. There we go. But I can't see you. Your chat. Say something one more time. Otherwise, I got to go back to the pop out. I don't know. I'm supposed to be the one in charge. Okay, I restored you guys. I'm supposed to be the only one. I'll find out. So, geez, I know that must be frustrating, JG. But I see that you just said Clint Eastwood's got a movie called the Guild, where he has sex. I don't know that word. Um, where he has sex with 13-year-olds. Weird movie. Oh goodness. There you go. Thank you. I see John and Lily and JG. Is is it Beguiled? Uh, yeah, I'm surprised Clint Eastwood. Um, hmm, that's not good. Jen's here. Good to see you guys. So yeah, there are some movies that once you start watching, if you've even seen Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts, there she goes again. I wonder if she's got some fascination with getting that topic out there. Um, I don't know how that's pronounced. Beguiled? Is it Beguiled? I don't know how to say that. Um, I'll have to check it out. Uh, but I lost my track of thought. But with Julia Roberts, Sleeping with the Enemy, that's kind of what I went through, where everything had to be like specific. And some people, you know, it can be quite scary leaving the person. They have to plan ahead. And I talked to you about my best friend who's in the hospital right now. Like she feels stuck, and the Beguiled and the Swimmer, strange movies. Hmm. Yeah, there's sometimes it relates to us too, and it kind of be a trigger sometimes too. I can watch pretty much most of the things, but the new Invisible Man movie is a good one. That's where they were low on budget, so they didn't have to hire an actor because he was invisible. They're just like, there he goes, running. Um, yeah, and I haven't really. What's the last movie I watched? Can't remember. I've seen a couple, but the ones that like I really wanted to. Have any of you watched any Christmas movies? Uh, because too, also when I was healing, I didn't really listen to songs or watch movies because I got sick of love movies and love songs because it just hurt me too much. I just didn't want to go there. So I kind of had some quiet time with myself. Jen says another thing, Amber contrived a smear campaign. Yeah, she's such a liar too. The smear campaign against Johnny, and that points to narcissism. Um, Borderlines can do that too, though. Like they're kind of shady. Uh, same with sociopaths. So it's not only it's narcissistic, but yeah, it gets tricky because you need 5 out of 9 traits, and uh, a lot of them will do the same thing. It's all about them. Uh, and like whether it's purposeful or not purposeful, it's usually they're either into themselves. Um, it's a survival technique. And sometimes it's cold hearted, sometimes it's just aloofness. They don't even know what's going on. My husband has a smear campaign going against me. Neighbors don't know what to believe. Um, that sucks. I know. And when you start defending it, they're like, oh, if you have to defend it, then, it must be true. Like, why would you defend it? It's like, you can't win. Usually the one who gets there first is who's going to be believed. Uh, so, yeah, they'll try to do that. Lily says, sleeping with the enemy, so scary but captivating. Yeah, yeah, they did a good job with that. I'm scared of scary movies. Also, J Lo movie, Enough. Oh, is that the cop one? Which no, I want to say I've seen that. What was the cop one where she was cop saving a man? Couldn't watch all the. I want to say I saw that. Uh, Heard a spineless little girl. Yeah, she is a spoiled little brat. You know. Uh, they ever do Una, her daughter? It's spelled. I can't remember. OINU or I can't remember how she spells it. What's the best date I've ever been on? Um, I don't really know. Now, the funnest thing I did was with a friend, uh, not a love interest. But the best date, I really haven't dated. Been screwed over. Does that count? Uh, I my first one and I like we went to Florida. That was kind of nice. No, I haven't been treated right. I haven't been treated right. So Starbucks was my best date. But check out. Have you guys checked out "Drunk Me" by Dusty Lee? I'm in that video. Leigh. My best. One of my friends, his girlfriend couldn't go with him to this mud bog, and he already had these tickets. So they had all these concerts and um, we were on the up and up. I know his girlfriend, and so we went and mud bog. That was like invigorating. I like that. I really, JG, I don't even know how to answer that because nothing. Um, I don't know. And that's sad. That's sad. John says my mom dated a guy like the sleeping with the enemy guy. I'd say one that was really nice though with my first one. Just a trip to the park with our daughter. Like we really connected, and um, there was another trip we took to a park. But as far as like, I don't even know. I did go to Florida, but I don't know. That's hard to answer, JG. So Jen says, my mom dated a guy like the sleeping with the enemy guy. A crumb on the counter meant a rage would ensue. Yeah, and that's so hard. Like you are walking on eggshells for that. I got bitched at for not wiping down, or when I wiped down the counter, it wasn't dry enough. JG will be with me. We're going to 8 Mile. I grew up 12 miles from, or I'm sorry, 4 miles on 12 Mile. I grew up 4 miles. I have a crush on Eminem. Not when he has blonde hair, but or the bleach. But yeah, I've been to his trailer park. That's a seedy, shady place. And also pretty close to where Kid Rock grew up in Royal Oak, or lived. I don't know where he grew up, but he lived. But yeah, I love that movie, 8 Mile. We're going to 8 Mile. Do you know what's on 8 Mile? Do you really want to go there? But yeah, 8 Mile. Don't go to 7 Mile. That's dangerous. Lily just Googled Play Misty for me, and it's from 1971. And uh, in Enough, not sure if he was a cop, but I think so, but scary. Oh, in Enough, the movie. Hmm. Okay, so did you say that one was with J Lo? Enough? Or I'm getting them mixed up. Sorry, guys. Uh, John says Eastwood is a good actor. Yeah, he is. John says my best date was with a rock star, also a lawyer. They both cheated later. Expert daters mean they date too much. Well, think about it. The rock star had a little fan club, and the lawyer had a lot of money, so people were falling all over him or her. So it's where they get corrupted by that. They get cocky. They feel like they're entitled to whatever they want in the moment. So be careful, and I went to law school, and you guys will hear me. I have a lot of credits, so you'll hear me. I've been to nursing school, master education, uh, law school, degree in criminal justice, and I'm a teacher with 4 endorsements, 5 really, if you think about it, if you add the elementary. But the lawyers are kind of taught how to word things, how to manipulate, and um, also see through things. But yeah, uh, that makes sense. It sounds sad. My brother's an attorney, and he's very faithful. He didn't want to have sex till he was married. He's been married 26 years or something. I don't know how many years. 30 years. I can't figure it out right. Probably 26 years or so. 28. Um, and he's very religious, and they're really so is she. So it's not always being an attorney, but they both cheated for your story, Jen. And Jessica Walters. Yes. Uh, Jen says, I walked into Starbucks in Burbank and Eminem was staring me down and I could not look back at him. I was freaking out. He was sitting with some other guys. I am 90+% sure it was him. No, he's upstairs at my house. That's kind of cool. Um, huh. So I'd like to kind of analyze him a little more. He seems, I don't know, like he's done some good things, taking care of, like, what was it, his cousins or nephews, nieces. Uh, he raised Haley pretty strictly. But there's something about his effect where, and the abuse he went through. Also, the no holds bar, fuck with me, I'll fuck with you back. Um, I like him though. Like he can spit, as they say. So okay, Jayla was in it. Um, Very cool. You were a court reporter for 25 years. I never practiced law because when I've been a juvenile probation officer. I taught criminal law at Grand Valley State University, but I never practiced law because when I was going through my custody battle, my ex's basically family owned the town, pretty much the county. His chief of police, county commissioner, all like uncle, like first line, second line family members. And like I kept getting screwed and screwed and screwed. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what you know. You know, um, like he threatened to kill me if I didn't abort her. He wasn't there for me. He said, this is God coming down on me. Now I got to buy a piece of shit truck and live in a trailer. And like everything was poor him. I'm like, you don't have to be involved if you don't want to. You don't have to pay child support for custody battles. Um, I went to jail for 4 days because I said, you got to call back. I just grounded her. Can she just go upstairs? Come, let her just sit on her bed and come back down. So I had 2 conflicting court orders, one from Detroit area, one from the other side of the state. No matter what I did, it was so shady and shitty that I'm like, fuck this shit. So no, I didn't practice law. Thank you for asking. But oh gosh. And that's that like family money entitlement. Like they own the court system. Um, when I was a juvenile probation officer, I got the job on my own and I didn't have his last name. We didn't get married, 3 weeks before the wedding, he bailed. So it's not like I'm carrying on that family name or on the tail skirt of it. But um, as soon as he found out, we had this conciliation meeting, and I had to tell him where I lived. I'm like down the hall, family court, and he kept going into that office. And I worked that morning. My job was open that morning. I took my lunch break and had the conciliation meeting at 1 o'clock. And unless it was mediation, whatever it was at one, whichever word, I can't remember what it was. We had so many meetings, but he went into a different probation officer's office 3 times, and he's like, Mike, who? Oh yeah, Mike, that's my buddy. And in the morning, I'm fired, and I'm like, can I ask why? And they're like, we don't have to tell you. And it's like there was nothing I could have messed up. For one thing, I was fairly new. We had to notify each other with in 30 days, so it's not like I really even had cases yet to screw up. I just kind of had to shadow, and I was there, and it's like it's got to be, why did I lose my job? I did nothing wrong. I was on time. Um, you know, so I spent $190,000 in custody, people. That's how shitty it was, because it was the state versus me, because he kept filing police report after police report. They were so freaking fraudulent. $190,000. He said, I'm going to destroy you and your family. And he was like, it cost you how much? He was a state cop, so people are doing him favors, probably like $20 an hour. Don't worry about it. You know how that goes. So he was like, how much? He totally didn't believe it. He probably spent $7,000. So Jen, yeah, $10,000 on your custody battle, and it's not over. So yours probably won't be anywhere near as expensive. That was for psychological evaluations for $2,000 a pop. Um, yeah. So hang in there. Whatever you guys can work out on your own is going to be better than what the courts are going to decide. So as much as you can, work it out if you can with him. Uh, it's hard. Yeah, we did depositions and all that shit. So I feel for you. Jerry Springer person he was. And yeah, and also you bring up Jerry Springer. I got tested with Jerry Springer because um, he had like an open show where I don't know if you could buy tickets. It's probably a purchase. I wasn't going to set up. My first one said, do you want to go to Jerry Springer? And I was like, oh, like JG was asking. It was like, yeah, you know, I thought like we need to have some alone time. We really don't date. So I'm like, yeah. So I took off time from school. At that time, I was in cosmetology. I also have a nail tech license. Like, guys, I'm a professional student. But anyways, um, I was going to take the day off. And I was at the point where I just needed like my hair hours on the floor. So it's not like I'm missing academia. Uh, so I thought, why not? He's inviting me. We live together, but it's like, let's do this. And I'm like, yeah. And so I said yes. And it was a test because I should have chosen to stay at school. So I thought our time was more important. It was just like it would have just postponed my graduation by 8 hours. Plus, when they graduate, it's usually at not that day. It's usually within the month. So it's really not going to affect it. And we didn't go. So it's like a setup, and it kind of breaks your heart, like you know. So Jerry Springer. My life was a Jerry Springer show. Lily, no, my daughter's 30. Um, she was 16 at that time. At that time. So, gosh, that's awful. JG says, yeah, pretty awful. Your dad was a cop, put my mom through hell. Yeah, and sometimes too through the training, they kind of change. Like we were even told in law school, if you're married, you're not going to be married when you're done with this. If you're in a relationship, you're not going to be it. And same with like when I met him, he was a deputy, and then he went into the state police academy, and he changed. He changed. Um, for one thing, it's like the elite. You know, I think DNR is seen as the elite here, but pretty much more. and the training they go through. You got to be cold. You're going to see some stuff. Like he saw some shit, sad stuff. His badass cop, but you know, but yeah, JG, how was your dad with you? Put your mom through hell. Did they stay married? So Lily says, "Where's your ex now, and does he leave you alone? I'm grateful mine never fought for custody." Um, he's cordial now at our grandkids' birthdays. Uh, Last time he was kind to help bring in the pack like presents I brought to the kids, but cordial, but not outgoing. Like if I don't say hi first, it like very rare would he bring something. There's times he'll ask me. He did ask me about my friend that I told you about that had her toe amputated today. Um, but yeah, it's at least not shitty. Like I just hate the silent treatment. Lily says it always backfires with a narcissist. Yeah, like even just like that Jerry Springer thing. It's like, for one thing, did you have to set me up? Why did you have to do it? And I don't know. Why ask if you're not going to take me? And then get mad at me when I choose an answer that, doesn't make sense. John says narcissists are generally very immature. Um, yeah, they can be. They can be. My first one wasn't. My first one wasn't. Maybe with the pouting, the silent treatment, but the others, yeah. Or even just like that. It's like, why ask me to go to Jerry Springer's if it's not real? Like, you're not going to do it. And then just, I don't know. JG says to John, I'd say they're emotionally self destructive. Yes, exactly. They self sabotage. They have something good, they will destroy it. And that's why people sometimes are like, with the new supply, like, is it going to work? It's going to be self sabotage. Some of them uh, will get married, but you know, Lily says we're alike. I had lots of professions too. Now I'm a therapist for autistic kids. Yeah, sometimes we do need to find our calling, and um, I was, like I said, growing up too naive. So I thought these are the choices, you know, and I pretty much did the nurse. Uh, I wanted to be a cop. I got hired, but I was pregnant, and we moved across state. So yeah, it takes time to find ourselves too, But good for you, and that's fantastic. Some of the people that I know who are autistic are like amazing people, kind. Uh, some people don't quite get them. Um, I haven't met, have I? I haven't. I don't think. I don't think I've met a mean autistic person. I don't think so. Comment below and say it kindly. But have you? I don't know. I gotta look into that more. Um, hmm. So good for you. That's fantastic, Lily. And John says, very true, JG. JG, I was very careful with your dad. Had him figured out for years. You don't talk to him anymore. Yeah, and that's sad, but you know, um, we have to protect our mental health too, Does your dad ever try to there's Nathan. Thank you for joining in. Nathan, have you been here? Have you had try a hard time commenting? So some are not nonverbal. Yeah. And was it a story uh Call Me Rosie or A Girl Named Rosie? Have you seen that documentary or movie? Uh she was brilliant. She just couldn't express herself. Um And some of them are brilliant. They just don't know how to communicate it. And Nathan says, very true. Yes. Okay, cool. So I'm going to try to figure out what's going on with the chat because JG was saying that she couldn't, like, she was kind of booting out. John said some of his stuff was cut off too. So sorry about the technical glitches. We also had that uh, snow apocalypse or whatever they called it. What are they calling it? I can't remember. Snowtastrophe. So you couldn't get through. It could have something to do with this almost nationwide storm, possibly. And I don't know. Um, plus, two people are locked inside because of the weather, so maybe it's overwhelming the internet. Oh my gosh, Nathan, you couldn't get through. JG. Oh, I thought you said you were a girl. At first, I thought you. Okay, JG, I want to be correct. Uh, I thought you said, unless you were saying that the person. I'm, I, I can scroll and prove somewhere whether I misinterpreted. We might have been talking about something else. JG, tell me what you are. Because I thought you said you were a woman. JG. Wait, we gotta let JG answer. JG is a wonderful person. Uh, huh. Because you asked me out. So at first I thought you were a guy. And then I thought you said something. No, a woman or something. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'm gonna scroll back and figure that out because I'm sorry for that. Hot for Cynthia. um, so John says, well, okay, so so that's what you are. You're so silly. Oh, and I can't look up your profile. Um, I just adore you either way. It doesn't matter. So, uh, we are waiting, JG. Yeah, Lily, were you here? Didn't JG say they were a woman? I swear, because I was like, I thought, but I couldn't. Come on, I even commented. I know I'm right. You're messing with me. You're such a narcissist. it's, it's my money and I need it now. Damn straight girl. Girl, I don't trust you now. JG Wentworth, I need my money now. Is that where it's from? I love that. You're not a she, but hey, we all know. Yes, said woman. Thank you. So, Lily, you were there, right? Um, oh, all right. Go ahead. You can do the blonde jokes now. But it's kind of dark. I'm kind of smart. It's like, um, John, help me out. Nathan, John, there is no storm here in California. Um, okay, so yeah, that's true. It's not all over. So you're safe. So good. You can log in tomorrow. No excuse. I'm glad you're safe out there. JG, that's funny. Hot for Cynthia. Lily, we are waiting. You guys are silly. John said in love. Nathan says, Cindy is my lady, lol. And you take it back when you do the lol. It's almost like I love you. No, really. So I'm just teasing you. JG making us wait. I think JG had to run to the bathroom to double check. I'm just kidding. You said I was with a girl, and then oh, that's why. Okay, I apologize for that. Um, okay, see, we're having fun. Okay, so JG. Okay, you are a guy. All right, so you were correcting yourself that you said you were with a girl and then you corrected yourself and said a woman. Okay. Sorry. You have a penis. I want a penis. Come here. Not on me. Not my own, but just get my joke. We're getting slap happy. I get slap happy. Some of my most creative costumes when I had my costume business were late at night. I get kind of silly at night. You guys ever get slap happy? Well, JG, congratulations on your appendage. Your appendage. Um, that's all I want for Christmas. um, I saw this thing on Dylan Mulvaney, and it was quite interesting. She, is going through changes, and I saw a video on having facial hair, kind of like the 5 o'clock shadow. And Dylan was being a girly feminine, but I noticed too that he and they had surgery, it seems like facial reconstruction. And it was pretty interesting if they had identify as a girl so much that they did the facial surgery first. So, um, yeah. So JG, who is the girl in your profile pic? And like I said, it's just really small. There's some people with beautiful long hair and they're guys. So uh, it's hard to see. It's hard to see. Um, but it's, yeah, I'll have to check that out, JG. So Lily asks, who is the girl in your profile pic? It's hard to see. It's hard to see. Lily, did you expand it out or is it just small? And let's see, is John still here? Who else is still here? Comment and say hello if you guys are still here. Sorry about the glitches that seem to have happened, but we're having fun talking about narcissism, mental illness. I want a penis. Haha. You'll head to Michigan. Head. You're such a perv. What do you mean head? You got the balls to say head. John Moran's still here. Lily, it's small. Oh, we're talking about penis and like it's small. You're talking about the profile pic. Adult conversations, gotta love it. And that's sometimes too, though, in these relationships, whether it's healthy or narcissistic, sometimes there are little lapses in communication where things can be misunderstood. So JG, thank you for having a good attitude, because I misunderstood what you said. You were correcting something, and yeah, sorry. Jeff Spicoli, however you say it, from Fast Time. So that's a pic of Jeff, because you did mention that. And I don't relate to that because I don't know who that is. I know what Fast Time at Ridgemont High is, but I've never really seen it. Is that the one with band camp? Which is the one time at band camp? Is that American Pie? What is that one? Band camp. Waiting again, JG. JG is saying that it was Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times, I believe at Ridgemont High from Fast Times. And I haven't seen that, so I can't know. I don't know if this Jeff dressed up as a woman. So, I'll have to use my degree in criminal justice to dive a little deeper into this. So, JG, before you ask a girl out, you should put your real profile picture up there. Otherwise, you're just catfishing me. You think I'm going to go out with Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times. Sean Penn is Fast Times. He's a surfer. I got this little kid, this little boy, in my art class, and he's this cute little blonde with these like curly hairs. Even has like a surfer name. He's like so surfer dude. All the other kids are just kids, but he looks like a surfer kid, even has a name. Yes, I've been a gym teacher. I taught criminal law at the university. I've taught 7th and 8th grade severely emotionally disturbed, 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th. Taught moral focus. I'm currently teaching art, and I was a gym teacher, and I also taught online. I also taught English as a second language to the Chinese, won a trip over there, and taught in China for a month and a half. So, yeah, I love teaching. I owned a dance studio, so I was a dance teacher. I was a college cheer coach at LB in college. So that's kind of in me. That's what I enjoy. You're good at art. I just said I teach it. I'm just kidding. It's elementary, and the kids are so sweet. They are so sweet. They poop in their pants still. Like that's what I had to deal with on Thursday. The sweet kid. Oh, he's so sweet. Brought me a Christmas present and everything. But his teacher is like, he pooped in his pants, and they changed his pants, but I don't think he wiped. So we can't do that. So we just have to deal with it. He like radiated. And another kid who's probably gonna grow up to be a narcissist. He's such a liar. He's so cute though, like a beautiful face. And a good liar. He's a good liar. But he wants his way. If he doesn't get his way, he's like, well, if she's not gonna, then I'm just gonna have to pee in my pants. And so it's like, yeah. They are cute. There's so many that are so sweet and so many that really want to help. I had this one girl. It was really uh, such love that radiated. And it was very interesting. She seems very well adjusted. Um, she comes from a cultural background, which I think feels very safe for her, very structured, whatever. But it's kind of like they agree to understand their roles, but it just works for them. But she seems very healthy, and she has some connection with me. So her birthday was recent, and so I'm like, time to sing her birthday. I always sing for the kids with the kids, and usually the kids kind of like look around, like, oh, it's all about me. They look at me for a little bit, and then they look around, like, who's looking at me? It's my birthday. But she just like stared at me like with such love, and like did not take. It was like such an endearment, like such a connection. It was just different. I don't know. It was very interesting. I've never seen where it was such a deep connection, but she has such a sweet little look to her. It was so pure, so pure. And she didn't need the validation from the other people, I guess. I don't know. Uh, JG Talili, are you asking if my. Oh, yeah. Lily, what's up? What's up? Are you asking if his penis is small? I think, yeah, JG. Oh, the profile pic. Yeah. So, um, yeah, communication. Yeah, usually us girls, we don't usually ask. We just know. And that's just women I know. But Lily, oh, you have to go walk and put doggy to bed and finish cleaning the kitchen. Love you all. Happy, healthy holidays. When is your next live? I am going live tomorrow. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's good for you guys? I'm Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow's Christmas, Christmas Eve. So I'm going to be home because of the weather. Um, I might do two tomorrow. I don't know. So I'm just kind of, you know. So Lily, I'm thinking, I don't know, 7, 8, and I'll probably do an afternoon one. So feel free to let me know. I'll put a post. Um, hit that notification bell, and it'll let you know when I post things. So, Lily, I hope to see you. If you hit notification or subscribe, Monday, Tuesday. My mom's in the hospital. I plan on doing it. I don't know what time. So I don't know. Probably in the morning, and then again at 9 or 10. I'll have to figure that out because I'm going to be spending the Christmas, and we're talking about a Zoom call. So hit the notification, at least just for this time. I post in the community. So, and John will check for it. Sorry, I'm not more on it with what time yet, but you'll see me. I'm trying to do every day this holiday break that I have. And you can send me, what works for you too. So evening and probably morning, Eastern Standard Time. So good. I'd love to see you again. I hope you had fun, and thank you. Yeah, she's a little bit more stable. She'll be in a rehabilitation center for quite a while, but she's stable. So thank you, and sleep well, and say hi to little doggy. And clean that kitchen, girl. Thanks for joining. But yeah, it kind of helps too. I know some of you, a lot of you are in Eastern Standard Time, and I never know when to go on. So I did 8 o'clock tonight because it kind of helps with people out in the Pacific coast if they're working to like 5 or 6 o'clock to get home from work. But I could go on as early as like 4:30 in the afternoon during the school week. That's when I get home, Eastern Standard Time. And I don't know what works for you guys. Even with New Year's, if you guys just want like a mid-afternoon or actual New Year's. So let me know if you guys want actual New Year's. I might be able to swing that for you. But so before we go, did anybody want to say anything in particular? Lily saying have a good night. And yeah, I think it was pretty fun. I hope to see you guys again. Yeah, if you get the notification bell, will let you know when these lives are. So I do kind of post some stuff too. You'll probably get notifications on that. Just a disclaimer. And um, JG, did you hit the like button? Are you helping out with my analytics, getting this channel bigger, as big as your I won't say it. So yeah, I gotta watch it when I do start rambling, saying things when I'm tired. Isn't that weird how when people are tired too, they hallucinate? I'm not hallucinating. I'm not really that tired. You're much more attracted to you now. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Um, Good. Yeah. Sometimes when we get to know people, it makes a difference. And that's kind of earlier we were talking about that sexual attraction. I can't remember who it was that was talking about that. Awesome. You subscribed. Perfect. And you don't have to, but if you hit the notification bell, it lets you know when I'm going live. But thank you for the subscription. That definitely helps me grow. And if I could do this full time, I would do this full time. But uh, YouTube's kind of hard making money at, but it gives me some sanity. I've known John for a year, pretty much. Nathan, are you still here? I've known you a long time. Um, Pretty much some of my first subscribers have stood by me, and Nathan was the one, I believe, who told me about the passing of Angie Atkinson. Um, and I put a tribute up for her. So it's nice. Sometimes too, we get to know each other. Um, Thank you so much. Gigi, are you tired too? Are you saying things that we should be saying? So thank you, John. Full time? It is a full time job with a 15-minute break every 4 hours. So can't be too demanding. But thank you, John. You honestly have been a really big support, and you know you've always been thankful and kind and supportive, and a really integral part of this community, kind of like a thread. So I do see we have a couple people. I want to make sure everybody's getting through. So go ahead if you don't see your name pop up, maybe type again. We seem to have maybe some issues with the weather, and we really appreciate you, John. You acknowledge people, interact with them, and I think some of us are like so starved for that you know just a kind word. Like we've been through so much abuse, so much discard, so much effort, that it's nice that somebody puts a little effort into us. So guys, it is 10:47, and my little pup and I are going to get some sleep before I get too slap happy. So guys, I will see you tomorrow. I don't know, I'll wake up and probably do I have an OnlyFans? You guys are my OnlyFans, so does that answer you? Peace out. No, I do not have an OnlyFans. I just need you guys. All right, take care, guys. See you tomorrow on Christmas Eve. Come spend it with. Oh, I need to put my Christmas tree up. I haven't put it up yet. And yeah, Dixie's over there sleeping. Look at her in the corner. There she is, just sleeping away. All right, guys. Take care. Bye. Have a good night.